So why did the cow jump over the moon? Farmer had pretty cold hands. Welcome to Klein Farm Channel. I'm Tyler, and today we're going to be breaking down some bulk meat into smaller fractions to put in the freezer to bring out to make smaller portions at different times. We got a 20-pound box of chicken drumsticks, 10-pound pack of hamburger, and a whole boneless pork loin that I'm going to be cutting up and wrapping up separately, putting them in the freezer. That way we can get them out at individual meals to get whatever. And we saved a lot of money buying in bulk instead of buying the individual pieces themselves. We got the whole boneless pork loin here, a 10-pound pack of hamburger, and the 20-pound box of chicken drumsticks. I'll do the hamburger up first because it's the easiest. We got this slab of hamburger here today at Piggly Wiggly. It's 73% lean, 27% fat. I like 80-20, but 70-30 is pretty common down here in North Carolina. And 80-20 is seen as more uppity, kind of. More fancy. Now, when I worked in the meat rooms in different places like Carly C's, IGA, and Wise Markets in Pennsylvania in the meat department, we would get these tubes of hamburger in a big box with probably 10 tubes in it, and we would just slice it open down the middle and throw them right in the grinder, and like all the packs of hamburger that were fresh ground, they're not that fresh. All they are this. And they just run it through the grinder again to make it look prettier. Now, we're going to put all this in the freezer bags because it's never in there long. I mean, we might have stuff in there a few months, but we normally eat it pretty quick. We had the chicken, we got that last box of chicken probably a month or so ago. Not much more than a month ago, if so. And we still have one pack left in there of it. And we put 10 chicken drumsticks into a 1-gallon bag. And we have one pack of pork chops left from the last pork loin I cut up. So the stuff lasts pretty while. Like all this stuff, it'll last about a month. Like individually. But if you have a vacuum pack machine, which some people might, if you're hunters and stuff, you might have a vacuum pack machine, and that works better than freezer bags, but freezer bags work fine. They work great. And that's what I'm going to be putting them into. We got gallon freezer bags and quart freezer bags. I'm going to be putting the hamburger in the 1-pound packs, so I'm going to be using the quart bags. Then here's my big old Victorinox butcher knife. It's pretty big knife. Victorinox. They're the same company that makes the Swiss Army knives. I have a whole bunch of butcher knives and meat cutting knives, boning knives, and they're almost all Victorinox. It's a very good company. Just gonna poke a hole in there, run it down here. Then what I would normally do if I was in the meat room at a grocery store there is dump this right into the big meat grinder, then dump 4 or 5 more in with it and grind it all out fresh into a fresh tray. But today I'm just gonna grab a big handful that figures out to be about a pound and put them into a bag. So, about the size of a big softball would be a pound of hamburger. So roughly about this, maybe a little bit more than this one. Right there, I'd say that's about a pound of hamburger. Just open up the bag and put it in. I might put a little bit more in there, actually. That's way more than a pound, but let's put a little bit more in. Close the bag up. Make sure you get all the air out of it that you can. You don't want any air in it, but you're going to have some air in it, but get all the air out you can. Then probably level it down flat. That way you can stack it in your freezer. Because if you have it as a big ball, it's going to be really hard to stack it in the freezer, make room. So about like that. Just flatten it out as best you can. That way you can stack it. Then if you want to be extra cautious, you can write down the date and hamburger on it. But I don't ever write stuff down like that. I know what's in it. Then just keep doing that until you complete the process. Get the whole thing in the bags. Like that. So we got 11 packs just for me by hand feeling out trying to get a pound each. We got 11 packs and that's good for 11 meals, and that's a good long time. And we paid $32 for that 10-pound tube of hamburger. It's $34, and we had a coupon for like $1.50 off, so that's a very good deal. So that equals out to round about $2.95 per pack of hamburger here, which is cheaper than you will get in any prepackaged at the store. Now I'm going to cut up the pork loin. And we got this pork loin at Carly C's IGA. That's the place I used to work. They have a good bit of locations around central North Carolina and Raleigh area. There's probably at least 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in our area here. I used to work at one when I first moved back to North Carolina here. When I first moved back to North Carolina, I worked at Carly C's for a few months. Then went down to Smithfield Foods in Tar Heel, and I worked there for a while on the kill floor. Then became a stay-at-home dad after that. But Carly C's that's a pretty good store. It's like Piggly Wiggly. It's a IGA, but they have a whole bunch of different locations, and they're all connected. They all have the same owner, but each one has a different owner of that franchise. They're franchises. And I liked working there for the most part. And I looked around, and the different grocery stores we've been to, a lot of them have these, a lot of them don't. But Carly C's has them for the cheapest. I have cut thousands of these boneless pork loins. Thousands of them. Just cut a slit right there in the plastic. Just run your finger right down through the plastic the whole way down. Rips open real easy. Now, as I've said in the previous videos of me cutting the pork loin, right here in this darker part, about up to right there, there over would be for the roast, or if you want to do pulled pork, or whatever you want to do with it. And like the good pork chops are right here in this section. You can have pork chops the whole way out of it, but these would be rib end pork chops, and they would be darker than the regular ones. But the regular boneless pork chops that you buy at the store come from this side right here. Now this is a pretty big pork loin. It's from a big pig. And at the store, grocery store, they would want you to trim a lot of this extra fat off. Only have like 1/8 of an inch of fat on each pork chop. But I like fat. Fat's good for you and healthy as long as you don't eat too much of it. And there's not too much on there that will hurt you. So I'm just going to slice it as it is to about right here, because that's where the meat starts getting dark. And this part you for roast or whatever you want. I might do actually I might do country style spare ribs and show you how to do that. I'll start with the pork chops here. Now I'm going to have my beautiful assistant hold the camera while I demonstrate how to cut. So I hope the angle's good. I hope it looks good. Alright, the very first thing you do, this end piece here, you want to level that off to make it flat. That right there, that's a big beautiful pork chop right there. You can see how it kind of resembles a ribeye steak. This loin on a pig is the same section that it would be on a ribeye for a beef cow. These have some big chops on this one. It's a beautiful pork loin. Pause it. Now, you see this extra fat on here? Like at a grocery store, they would want me to cut that back just to have a little bit, that you can just see a little bit there. But I like that extra fat. It adds a lot more flavor to it. And if you don't want to eat that when it's cooked, you can just cut it off. But I like it, so I leave it on. And you want to just let the knife do the work. You don't want to saw it. You just want to go let the knife do all the heavy work. You want them about, quarter inch, quarter to half inch thick. It all depends on how thick you like your pork chops. You can put them as thick or thin as you want. Like right here. This would be a very thick cut pork chop. And you could also do it as a roast, because it wouldn't matter. I mean, the good thing that we used to like to do at the one place I worked at, hollow out in the middle here. Kind of slit in the middle, and you can fill that with like stuffing or macaroni and cheese, and get some cooking string and tie it shut and cook it like that and be stuffed pork chops. Or you can just cut them back down like that and have two regular thicker cut, not super thick like the other one. A lot of people like thin cut though. Like we sold a whole lot of thin cut chops, and I don't like them personally, but a lot of people do, like very thin, and they sold like crazy in Pennsylvania. Then the bigger the pork loin, the more chops you can get out of it, the more roast you can get out of it. Like, I saw they had ones about this size. Now, I saw they had ones about this size at Piggly Wiggly today. Now, I saw ones this size a lot at different grocery stores. Not as big as this one, but this is the dark end of it. And a lot of places have this, and it's the same price as the whole long loin. So you can buy ones like this size that are just the end, but it'd be better to buy the whole pork loin. Okay, fine. Alrighty. Now, if you look at these chops here, you can see the meat starting to get darker. And every one you cut into subsequently, it gets more dark meat in it. That means you're getting into the rib end, and it's all going to get dark, and that's where you cut a lot of roast out of. Now here to do rib end chops, not rib end chops, the boneless spare ribs, take this, turn up on its side, cut it right in half down the middle. So it looks like that. You got two of them that look like that. And just very gently, don't cut the whole way through. Cut like 80 to 90% through, but don't cut the whole way through. And you got boneless pork ribs. Country style pork ribs. It'd be exactly the same as taking baby back ribs and cutting the bone out, pretty much. And you can do that on both sides if you want. But I'm going to make this one into a roast. Right. So here we go. I got 6 packs of 4 pork chops, boneless chops per pack. And I got 2 country style boneless spare ribs cut out of the very end. Or even though I cut them like that, I can still use them as a roast if I want. Or I could still cook them in a crock pot and make them into pulled pork. Doesn't really matter. You can still put pork chops in the crock pot, make them into pulled pork. However you want to do it. But these are really good. And this was $24. And let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meals. 8 meals for $24. And if you buy a regular pack of 4 pork chops, boneless chops, that can be pretty expensive if you buy that 6 times. And if you buy 2 individual country style spare ribs, it's a lot more than $24. And I could have gotten maybe 1 or 2 more packs of 4, but I cut these kind of thick. I cut these thicker than normal because I like the thicker chops, because when you cook them they shrink anyway. But we got a good deal on that. I'm going to put them in the 1 gallon freezer bags. The pork chops in packs of 4, and the country style rib ends in packs of 1, and these 2 thick cut chops I'm going to put in a quart bag. Then just make sure you get all the air out. You don't want any air in there. It's going to have some, but the more air that's in the bag, the more likely it'll get freezer burnt. Now I put them 2 thick chops in a quart bag there, and I'm doing packs of 4 in the gallon bag. Just like that, lay them flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then get all the air out you can, and that way you can stack them. They take up a lot less room in the freezer that way. So there I have the pork loin all cut up and bagged up. Doesn't take too long. So that's good for 8 meals right there. Now I just got to wipe off my knife here and get ready to start putting the chicken up. Get it good and clean. And dry it off immediately so it don't rust. And be extremely careful when you're drying it with a paper towel, because that is when most people cut themselves, because that blade is so sharp it'll just slice your finger while you're running the paper towel up it. And put it back in its sheath, and you're good to go. Go put it away. Now we're going to do the chicken up. 20-pound bag of chicken drumsticks. Then how I like to do these, I like to make a few packs of 10 and a few packs of 5 in the 1 gallon bags. A pack of 10 would be good for a meal with leftovers. A pack of 5 would be good for about 1 meal. Then chicken drumsticks, this is the best way to package them. Put the big end up first. Then the next one, put the small end up. Then just continue that pattern the whole way, and it'll be the best way to do it. Take up the least amount of room, and they'll fit together perfectly. Like that. Just like a puzzle, pieces fitting together. So this would be a pack of 5. That'd be good for 1 meal. And fold it over, get all the air out, then seal it shut. Then here is a 10 pack, 5 pack, a 10 pack. If you have a bigger family, or if you guys just eat a whole lot of chicken, Do more 10 packs and 5 packs. But stacking them like that, it's pretty low and stacks pretty easy. So here in the freezer, I have 1 pack left of the 10 pack, and it doesn't take up that much room. You can stack them pretty high in there. Now the chicken is very, very bloody, and it's going to be a big mess, so make sure you don't cut the bottom of the plastic and you have a good surface. I put cardboard down to work on, otherwise it's going to be very sticky and very bloody. I got the chicken all bagged up. I got 4 packs of 10. I got 4 packs of 5. Well, 3 packs of 5 and 1 pack of 6. So there were 61 chicken legs in that box of 20 pounds. So we got 8 to 12 meals out of this box of chicken right here. Because the big packs here with 10 in them, that can be 1 big meal, or it can be a meal with leftovers, or you can do 5 and 5 for later. But it's a very good deal. And it was like $13 for this box of chicken. It was $15.99, but we had a $1.50 off coupon at Piggly Wiggly. And they have drumsticks, and they have chicken thighs, and they have chicken leg quarters, all in the same thing. You can get a 20-pound box of each of them. So let's look here in the freezer. We got 11 packs of hamburger that are almost a pound, maybe a little bit over a pound. It was a 10-pound loaf. I got 11 packs out of it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 packs out of the boneless pork loin, and like 8 packs of chicken, 4 packs of 10, and 4 packs of 5. So that would be 29 to 32 meals worth of meat right here, all for $72. And that is a very good deal. That's a very good deal right there. We got a lot of meat in the freezer. Plus a 5-pound bag of frozen chicken nuggets we got from Carly C's for $9, and normally they're over $12 at Walmart. The only bad thing about this, when you buy all this meat and prepare it up yourself, it takes up a lot of room in your freezer. But I got it all in there. I really hope you learned something. I really welcome comments. I want you to comment as often and as much as you can. Any kind of comment. Be positive, negative, whatever. But comments really help the channel. Good or bad, they help the channel. So please comment, please like, share, subscribe, and let me know what all you would like to see in future videos. I've been cutting meat for my whole life pretty much. I started cutting meat when I was 5 years old with my great-grandparents. A lot of my family has been butchering my whole life, and I worked at two professional butcher shops where I'd kill the live animal and go the whole process, cutting it up and selling it to the customer. And I also worked in meat departments in 3 different grocery stores, almost 4. Piggly Wiggly wanted me bad, not the one that we go to, one that's farther away, about an hour and a half away. I was actually working at Carly C's IGA in the meat department, and the manager from the Piggly Wiggly from about an hour away called me while I was at work there. And he didn't call my cell phone. He called the store and asked to talk to the meat room and asked to talk to me to offer me a job. And that made me feel really good. That he would call my work to offer me a job. But that definitely makes you feel good. But I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a great day. Don't forget to comment.